Hello everyone, I'm Brian the Duke, and I've been making a lot of tutorial videos on Affinity Designer, and this time I'm going to make a tutorial on how to draw hands. Almost a year ago, someone asked me to do a video on how to draw characters or just how to draw, and I feel I wasn't too helpful because I'm still in the process of learning. I've been looking through so many videos on YouTube on how to draw hands, and I think I may have found an approach on an easy way to do it in any form. Because there is really no easy form with the way hands are. I mean, it's very hard to draw and very complex. But we're going to break it down into steps. Like this figure drawing I made, you need to break it down into steps. If you go right into drawing it from scratch, it won't come out right. And I'll get more into this in a later video. Now, when you look at a hand, notice how this part is square. We're going to call this the wedge. And then the thumb comes out, and then the fingers come out of the wedge. So remember that square section. The square is the wedge. Alright, so now let's dive in, and I'll show you how to draw a hand easily. I'm going to draw two hands. Okay, now I'm going to be using Affinity Designer to do this, and I'm going to be using the pixel tools. You can also do it on paper if you want, but this is just how I'm used to drawing. And I'm going to go into the basic category for the brushes, and I'm going to use size 8. So first, I'm going to draw a square for the wedge. And this is where the fingers are going to come out of. So I'm going to draw 3 lines. Let me make those more accurately. And I'm going to put a line right here for the thumb. Now these aren't the fingers. This is the space the fingers will be in between of. And this is how far the fingers will rise. The size of the fingers is the same size of the wedge. So I'm going to start off with the middle finger because the middle finger is longest, and there are 3 sections in the finger. A lot of people think 2, but there are 3. So this is the longest section, this is shorter, and now this is the shortest. Now index finger. This one goes a little shorter. And then the pinky finger, shortest. Now I'm going to draw circles. And they get a little smaller. You don't have to do that, but I like to do that. So big circle, small circle, and then I'll do it right here. Okay, now this is the space where the fingers are going to be, so I drew this. The circles represent the width of the fingers. They are the joints. Alright, now I'm going to round this corner right here, just because hands are not usually straight. And now I'm going to just erase this right here. And this is one way to do it. Alright, now I'm going to draw it differently. And now I'm going to draw the hand like this. Now remember, this part right here is the wedge, but what is coming at you before seeing the fingers is this part over here. So we're going to think 3D. So this part is the wedge on top, not this part. We're going to think 3D, so first I'm going to do a rectangle. And now this part is the wedge. So the hand is coming at you, and now these are where the fingers are going to be coming out of, in between these lines. I'm going to do them right here. also, because this is where the fingers are coming out of, this 3D space. Now last time I made circles for the joints, so I'm not going to do the lines, I'm just going to do the circles this time. Okay, now this is where the finger starts, that line, and this is where the other finger ends, or that same finger ends. And I didn't show where the thumb starts because that is behind the view. It goes behind that index finger here. And I'm rounding these corners now because you don't want the hand to look square because the hand isn't square, only the wedge. And I'm not going to erase that line. I want to keep that line. And that is how it's done. So you want to make sure that when you're drawing hands, you want to know where the wedge is and you want to know where all of the joints are. Just simplify the hand. It's not a simplified thing, but the joint and wedge is how you will know how to make the hand. It all depends on where it is. Whether the hand is if the hand is coming at you, then you need to draw it in 3D. If it's just something like this, you don't have to draw in 3D. But the hand is complicated, but at the same time, I'm realizing it's not just the wedge and the joints. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you like what you see, give this video a like.